Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on The Flash Season 8. So the 5-part Armageddon event has kicked off, and I think I can speak for most people when I say that it started off very well and definitely has people intrigued and excited for what is to come our way over the next roughly month in the remainder of this event. Now, as we know, we are getting a bunch of guest stars showing up in this event, ranging from old and new heroes, as well as some, familiar villainous faces, shall we say. But the aim of the event with these guest characters is to not just, have them come on by and say hello and leave and just use them for promotion, I guess. There is a story there to be told. We saw an example of that with Ray Palmer, aka the Atom, in part 1. Ray was definitely a character that I thought was done in regards to any sort of story and development as a character. But then that first episode of The Flash Season 8 went hey, look at this. And we all looked, and I was pleasantly surprised. That sort of sounds dirty. Anyway. So in this video, we're going to go over some fallout from the end of part 1 of Armageddon, or episode 1 of season 8 of The Flash, with some quotes from Grant Gustin, aka The Flash himself, and Brandon Routh. I was going to call him Ray Palmer, and Brandon Routh, aka The Atom, while also diving into some interesting words from Catherine McNamara, who of course played Mia Queen on Arrow, and will be reprising that role later into the Armageddon event, with us getting a tease as to when that could potentially be in some newly released promo material. But of course, throughout the video, be sure to let me know your various thoughts, theories, prediction, all of that in the comments section. I'm always curious to read it. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video and you're looking forward to any of the stuff that we talk about in this video, why not drop a like on the video to show your support and excitement. So the first stuff is from Grant Gustin. We'll go Grant Gustin, Brandon Routh, and then finish off with Catherine McNamara. So Grant was talking in like a post episode 1 sort of thing, and TV Line brought up a question which is sort of assessing Barry's mindset coming out of part 1, and this is what Grant Gustin had to say. He of course thinks there's no way that this is possible. There's nothing that would make Barry turn on the world that he has vowed to, protect. And because he and the whole team have leveled up, he feels very confident initially that this is not going to be a problem. There is a turn, and that is why Barry goes to the Hall of Justice and seeks out Jefferson, aka Black Lightning. He needs help with something that I won't spoil because it's a big twist that kind of sets the rest of the 5-parter into motion. But by the end of the second episode, there is a development that makes Barry think that maybe the Flash causing Armageddon is possible. So yeah, I think episode 2 is going to be a pretty, vital episode. I think obviously all the episodes are going to be vital, but in regards to setting up the plot and moving it forward, we know that Despero, there's some stuff with him and Barry in this episode that will push it forward. Maybe that's what Grant's referring to here, but I think there's going to be a couple of different key moments in this episode that then allow episode 3, 4 to happen, because we're that there's multiple guest characters coming into that into those episodes, and I think you want the story set up before you move into those episodes where there's a lot of characters coming in, especially characters that maybe you have to do some introductions to and everything like that, or reintroductions to at the very least. So yeah, I'm excited to see what is set up, which then allows 3 and 4 to be fun, just action-based episodes, just a lot of stuff going on before you then finish off in episode 5, tying the bow and finishing off that story. So yeah, I'm definitely excited for what's coming this week in episode 2. But next up, Brandon Routh. So Brandon Routh was talking to comicbook.com, and this actually has nothing to do with the Atom. They were actually talking about him as Superman. So obviously we know that Brandon reprised his role as Superman in Crisis on Infinite Earths, and it felt like they left that character in an open space where they could do something with him. I mean, they made that really awesome Kingdom Come suit that was in one episode, one episode, I think, or what, two episodes, whatever it was. It wasn't in a lot of scenes at the very least. So it feels like, hey, maybe they should do more with that. And this is what Brandon had to say in regards to reprising his role as Superman. Given the story is the right story and Superman portrayed in the way that I see Superman, I was always absolutely always interested in that. I have made my own investigations about the possibility of something like that. Right now, the truth is that we're flush with Superman stuff with the success of Superman and Lois, and Tyler's doing an awesome job on that. And then there's a couple of scripts and stuff going around for features, I think, in different iterations of Warner Brothers. I don't know what all of the plans are, but I do know that Flashpoint is coming out, and that is opening up that world. When that happens, and with, I suppose, the success of that opens up other opportunities. Just like Mark Guggenheim did with Crisis on Infinite Earths, you can have multiple Supermen, and it works. That experiment is actively in process and hasn't been tested yet on the feature film side, but I think that's what maybe they're gearing up for. It's hard to say what the next few years will bring, but where I used to say I didn't think I'd ever play Superman again, having been able to play him again in Crisis, now I say the sky's the limit. Who knows? So yeah, I think it's hard to say whether they'll actually ever do anything with this Brandon Routh Superman. It would have been really cool to see him show up in Armageddon. A lot of people saying, why didn't he do that? Well, he is on a different Earth in the multiverse, and it's pretty clear that they wouldn't have wanted to touch the multiverse, at least in this event. I don't think this is the event to touch it. I think maybe if you do another crossover, maybe well, next year. I was going to say later this year. I keep thinking that we were in the beginning of 2022. But next year, because that's the 10th year anniversary of the Arrowverse. So you think they'd do something, pretty special for that crossover if they do one. And maybe that could involve the multiverse again, which once again could bring in Brandon Superman alongside God knows who else, what other versions of characters from the past and the present. So that could be really, really cool if they do that. But of course, there's rumors that they're going to do a Crisis on Infinite Earths movie in the DC universe at some point. I don't think it's going to be in the next couple of years. I think we're probably looking 5 to 10 years down the track. But it's very important to remember, they aged up Brandon Routh's Superman. So they made him look older. They put gray streaks in his hair and everything like that. So even if it was 5 or 10 years from now, he could still play the character and he'd probably look the exact same, if not fit it perfectly like he did, like in regards to the way they looked on Crisis. So I think we should just hold our breaths, but not get, don't think it's not going to happen. So next up is some talk with Catherine McNamara, who, as I said, will be reprising her role of Mia Queen from Arrow in Armageddon. Now, we did get the synopsis for episode 4, or part 4 of Armageddon, which did not have Mia in it. So episodes 2, 3, and 4 do not mention Mia in the descriptions. So is episode 5 the episode that she shows up in? And if that is the case, why is she being held off so late in this event? Batwoman, Alex Danvers, and Ryan Choi are in episodes 3 and 4, while Black Lightning's in episodes 2 and 3. So episode 3 will have Black Lightning, Batwoman, Alex Danvers, and Ryan Choi in it. 4 guest stars in one episode, and potentially maybe even maybe Damien Dark, maybe, or in Reverse Flash, even though they're not mentioned. They're mentioned in the episode 4 synopsis, so that might be their first episode. We don't know. Now, in regards to this Armageddon thing, I'm starting to think that episode 4 is when a lot of stuff gets revealed, which will, explain a lot of questions that us, as well as the characters in the story, will have in regards to what is going on in this event, in this storyline. And due to the fact that Mia is from the future, specifically 2040, 2041, which would be 10 years after this event that, this Armageddon thing in the future that we saw at the beginning of part 1, she would know a lot. She's alive in this future, so she probably knows a lot of what is going on, and maybe some answers as well to questions that certain characters might have. So I'm not saying that she's going to be vital, so she's the key to the event story, but she could be, very important to answering some certain things and revealing some certain things and helping out, just due to where she comes from. She's she could be a very useful, addition to this event and our team. But yeah, Catherine did an interview with Collider where she talks about various things. I've only taken a couple of questions from a somewhat lengthy interview. So if you want to check out the whole thing, which is 4 or 5 times longer than what we go over here, the link to it will be in the description down below. It's so exciting to see you return to Mia. When and how did you get notified about returning to play the character as a part of this huge event for The Flash? As is usually the case with these things, they keep everything under wraps. All I knew was that they wondered if I was interested in coming back to play Mia for an episode of The Flash. I said, absolutely, I will be there. You let me know, I'm yours. Mia, just like Clary, and I think Clary is her character from another show, obviously, is such a special character to me. I learned so much from and had such an incredible experience on Arrow that did so much for me and took such good care of her. I never thought I'd get to play her again, and now that I do, it's such a dream come true. Grant Gustin and everybody over there and the whole crew on The Flash was just amazing and welcomed me with open arms. I'm just so grateful. So she does say 1 episode. She says they wanted her back for an episode. So I assume that's just going to be episode 5. However, maybe it's episode 4. We don't know. Maybe they're trying to keep her under wraps and not reveal what episode she's in because it could be important to the story. But based off what we know, I guess it's episode 5, but who knows? What can you say to tease fans for what they'll get to see of Mia and how she'll fit in to Armageddon? It makes me so excited. It's definitely very true to who Mia is and to her drive and her motivation of really trying to pick up where her father left off. She had such a limited amount of time with him. Mia and Oliver were finally getting a place where they understood each other. They were overcoming their hang-ups and issues with each other. And then, of course, he died and she was left scrambling and going, wait, I'm not ready to take this on. I'm just learning how to be a hero. I'm just learning how to do all of this. Mia is someone who is desperately trying to live up to the legacy of her father and to live up to all of those promises that she made without really knowing how to do it. Given that she is a bit of a lone wolf, it can be a bit of a struggle sometimes. Barry Allen is really good at finding people when they're a little lost and steering them in the right direction. So that gets me curious to see what their relationship is like and what their, just their conversations are throughout this event. But it makes it seem that like episode 5, if that's the episode that Mia is in, there's nothing weird going on with Barry potentially at that point, and it is really just taking down whoever is the threat, whether it's Despero, someone else, or Despero and someone else. That'll be interesting. Did you have to do anything new or different with her this time around? I spent a good portion of it in a cocktail dress and heels, which is very odd for Mia. It's not her usual habitat, so that was interesting but fun. So we've seen footage of this in the trailer. So that's some like sort of like event party thing, and she pulls like a knife out of like something that was like, I think it's like either on her dress or it was like on her thigh or something like that, like a thigh belt harness sort of thing, or like a knife sleeve, whatever you want to call it. So that's in the trailer quickly. So if she was in that for a good portion of it, maybe that's a lot of the episode. I'm not too sure. So maybe that makes me think I don't know. I'm sort of confused with this Mia thing because we see her in the Green Arrow suit as well. Would that really be part 5? I don't know. I think with this Mia stuff, we just have to sort of wait and see where she shows up instead of just assuming, because I just don't know how she would play into part 5. That's like a finishing one, but then they're doing all this stuff with like the cocktail dress and everything like that. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that's it to go over in this video. As I said, there's heaps more to that Catherine McNamara interview, even more to do with the Armageddon stuff or Mia as a character. I just didn't think it was overly relevant to put in this video and make this video like 20-25 minutes long, you know what I mean? So you can go check that link in the description down below if you want to go check out the rest of that interview. But thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show support. Let me know in the comments section down below your various opinions, thoughts, theories, all that stuff in the comments. Always curious to read what you guys are thinking and what you think might happen, because we all can guess. That's the beauty of it. And let's just see who's right. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.